Today we are going to study the poem The Harp of India, written by Henry Louis Vivian Desrosiers. Henry Louis Vivian Desrosiers is one of the notable writers and the first writer of Indian English poetry. So his poetry, he is considered as an Anglo-Indian. He is of Portuguese origin, but he considers himself as an Indian, and then his poetry is filled with patriotism. And the Harp of India is one of his first poetries and can be considered as the one of the first poetry of Indian English literature. So the Harp of India, this poem celebrates the glorious past of India before the British rule and how it is ruined by the British rule, and the situation of the poets who were writing before the British rule, etc. The poet also uses harp as the symbol of Indian poets who were earlier famous but under the British rule who are suffering. So this poem is a sonnet, and mainly it consists of two sections. The first section, the poem laments the loss of the glorious past of India, and the second one, he hopes that the glory will be back. Let us see the poem. Who hangest thou lonely on yon withered bough? Who hangest thou lonely on yon withered bough? So here the harp is considered to be hung on a withered bough, and here the harp refers to Indian poets who wrote before British rule, and the withered bough must be referring India, the India which is withered, which lost all its control, which is under the British rule now. Unstrung forever must thou there remain, O you harp, or the poets who were there before of British India, you should remain there unstrung. The harp will remains there unstrung forever. Thy music once was sweet, who hears it now? Your music was sweet once, but who hears it now? Now after the British rule, people are more interested in learning Western literature and all, English and all. Nobody knows, and there is no record of this writing even. Why do the breeze sigh over thee in vain? So the breeze sigh over these harp in vain. So the breeze sighing over, the sound of the breeze even is not able to awaken the harp, and then it is sighing in vain. Sighing is the kind of audible breath, the suppressed breath, or the emitted suppressed audible breath, which refers to griefness of a person or sadness. So here even the breeze is sighing over the pitiful situation of the harp of the Indian poets who wrote before the British rule. Silence hath bound thee with her fatal chain. Silence here refers to the metaphorical death of the poetry of these writers. So that has bound these people, like these poets, like a chain, a fatal chain. A fatal means one that can cause death. Neglected, mute, and desolate art thou. Their art, these poets, their arts are now neglected, remains neglected, mute, and desolate, and they remain there like the ruined monument in the desert plain. So here simile is being used by saying like ruined monument on desert plain. Oh, many a hand more worthy far than mine. Oh, your hands were more worthy than mine. Your poetries were more worthy than mine. You had that real talent, much more than mine. Once thy harmonious chords to sweetness gave. It is your hands, it is your musical ability that gave music to the chords that you have written, gave harmony to the chords that you have written. And many a wreath for them did fame and entwine. Fame entwines the wreath for these writers. It is fame that entwines wreaths for these writers in earlier times. Of flowers still blooming on the minstrel's grave. So minstrel is the earlier musician who used to sing songs for the nobility, who for entertaining the nobility with a musical instrument. The same way, from the graves of these minstrels who are dead now, from those flowers, those essence of their music, with that fame entwines the flowers for these writers. But alas, the fate made them unfamous. Those hands are cold, those minstrels, their hands are cold, they are dead now. But If thy notes divine may be by mortal wakened once again. If your notes, your notes, which are very divine, if at least one person, one mortal can waken those words, harp of my country, let me strike the strain. O harp of my country, O the poets before the British England, let me strike the strain. Let me begin writing this poetry to set a new venture for bringing back the glory of Indian poetry. Let me begin. And like that he begins writing his first poetry. And when it comes like the maybe the mortal wakened once again, the image that comes to my mind is Ode to the West Wind by Percy Bysshe Shelley, where he hopes that his words, his poetry will be spread like ash, which got some spark. The wind can be enough to spread his words across the world, etc. So this is one poetry by Henry Louis Vivian Derosio, and this poem can be considered as the first poetry of Indian English literature. And the poem begins with some melancholy, but the poet decides to revive these works and hopes that the lost glory of India will be back again. And he also mentions that though these writers are being dead and gone, their works remain immortal and keeps them in the memory of everyone. But then the point is that those poetries are not much known, and Indian English poetry begins with Henry Louis Vivian Derosio's poems. Thank you.